And hello, my brave knights, princesses, and princesses, and welcome back to Let's Play Pilgrim. Last left off, we finished one of the chapters, and now we're on to this chapter. As you can see, I'm using a different camera because if you haven't realized it yet, or if you have, good for you if you have. My other camera broke. Don't know how, but it did. So this one I'm using now is the one that I used for showing off my hands during the two Cooks Are Delicious specials for the hands. So, that's why.
Somehow, teaching children of early high school age had done little to prepare me for the task of raising a child not many years younger. She still had an innocence at her age, while the scamps that I taught, I'm being a bit harsh of course, but, well, the students that I taught were in the process of growing up very quickly. A little too quickly, some of them. I sincerely hoped that my Emily wouldn't be quite so precocious by the time she was that age.
As I said in the last episode, it could happen. So this isn't a permanent thing. I'll be getting a new camera eventually, soon, within this month. Don't know when, just knowing I will get one. When I do, it'll be unboxed in front of this camera, and you all will be excited. Until then, enjoy this game. Also, the author commented on my last video. Thank you for that. He loved Homesick too, apparently, and I do talk a lot about Homesick when I'm doing walking simulators anyway, because it was the first walking simulator I played up to that point, and I absolutely loved it. It was gorgeous, very gorgeous, Unreal Engine walking simulator with a story and beautiful music. Right, I think the first thing we're looking for is an umbrella, and that is over here. Sorry about the frame drop. But when it comes down to Unreal Engine games, sometimes my frames are just choking a little bit on it. So I had a theory last episode about how this game's story is going to go. I'm going to save my theory till the end. And basically what I'll say is, if I'm right, I'll say I was right. If I was wrong, I will probably be astounded. But knowing how normally these games, these talks about things go, I'm betting that something happens. Something happened. Something is going to happen.
I enjoyed taking my daughter on short trips, well away from the city. I didn't want her knowing nothing but schools and streets, which my own life almost seemed to consist of. I figured that she needed to breathe a bit of nature every once in a while, enjoy a bit of fresh air. It's one thing to civilize a child, but another to deny them their childhood altogether. We both seem to like the beach, especially.
Yeah, beach is a good idea. It's a good idea to do that, to take them out into the wild and show them that there's a world out there. It's a big world too. It's a scary world too. Big, scary world. Another umbrella. But like I said, if you guys haven't seen the Just a Path playthroughs or Homesick, or another game that I played called Nico Through the Dreams, another good one, you should. Those games are gorgeous. The twists in them are something else. Great, I have 2 paths. A completionist brain is going to be screaming at me for not... Can I get up here? Can I? No? Okay. My brain is going to want to go explore. I guess it all leads to the same spot. Okay. That's fine. If this camera was working, this would be, you know, right here, where it's supposed to be. But now you guys are just seeing a whole different side of everything.
Emily loved the water. In another life, I believe she could have easily been a fish. Sometimes I even called her my little mermaid. She loved the sand too and liked to build things with it. One day, I helped her make a fairy tale castle and cast her, only in her mind of course, as a kind of mermaid Rapunzel, trapped in a tower far beneath the water, her long hair flowing with the winds of the waves.
Yep. Of course you'd use Rapunzel. Not saying it's wrong to, it's just... It's either going to be Rapunzel, or Cinderella, or... anybody with a happy ending. Basically. Technically, they don't technically have happy endings, actually. I wonder if I can climb this ladder. I'm curious. Oh, good thing I came over here. Can I climb this ladder? No, I cannot. My little arms can't climb ladders. I'm like Freeman all over again. Only Freeman can't climb rope. Yes, I'm making references to the old days when I played Black Mesa. Oh, those days were fun. Days of playing Black Mesa. Once the Zen half comes out, I definitely will be playing it. I won't be the first to get hold of it, but I will be playing it. And the Opposing Force remake, when it comes out, I'll play that too. Ty and I both are going to be playing that.
Would you be my prince and come to save me, Daddy? She asked. No, sweetie, that will be another man. We just don't know who yet. But one day your prince will come. I further hoped to myself, and only to myself, that the man in question wouldn't merely break her heart. I wished nothing more for her than to find the happily ever after that eludes so many others.
Well, even if she did find him, there's the whole happily ever after mess won't exactly happen, because no life is without its struggles. It's just a sad reality. These hippos. Oh no, piggies. Piggies! Run! Now if I missed any of the collectibles, developer, I'm sorry.
For a brief time, when Emily was 7 years old, I managed to get involved with another woman for all of 6 months. Another teacher at the same high school. When that ended, we did our best to go back to just being friends and colleagues, but it wasn't long before the woman in question happened to find herself a job at another school. I never knew whether I was the primary cause for her leaving, but knew that it was probably for the best. She only met Emily once. I don't think Emily liked her very much. Yes, it was probably for the best.
It was only one for one day. I mean, one day won't necessarily judge a lifetime. Just because she meets her for one day and doesn't like her that one day doesn't mean she could grow. She could grow on it, on the person. Person could grow on her, that kind of thing. Originally, the batteries would have been right here, but they're not there. They must be somewhere else.
I know you always acted with Emily's best interests at heart, and mine when I was alive. You were a good husband, and a good father. Nobody's perfect.
True. Interlude 2, Careless Wishes.
Ah, memories. My wife and I used to come to this place to mess about. Before we were actually husband and wife, of course. her parents were a bit on the religious side, and, well, I'm not sure my parents would have appreciated us getting up to mischief in their house either. It wasn't glamorous, but at least we knew we could be alone here. There was that one time, of course, when we were interrupted by the squatter. The poor old guy seemed a bit embarrassed by his discovery, truth be told. We quickly finished up our business and respectfully departed. During future visits, we made a point of keeping to the other end of the building, just in case.
Oh, boy. Okay, so what do I have to open with a... Oh, hello. Oh, you know what's really cool? The fact our footsteps are in sync with, well, almost in sync with the piano. Like when it was doing this one note, it's like do, 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 do. Almost in sync. Okay, where am I opening what?
Eventually, the place was condemned and torn down. It was no great skin off our knees, given that we'd already moved on, but I always wondered about that homeless man. I certainly hope he wasn't inside the building on the demolition day. He'd be long gone by now, either way. Ah, that's right. I'd completely forgotten that this was where we found Kiri, named him, and jokingly decided to keep him should we ever have a child together. Careful what you wish for.
Chapter 3, The Demon Drink. Here we go. Oh, I can finally walk faster again. Oh.
There was one resounding consequence to the breakup with the other teacher. Shortly afterwards, my drinking started to spiral out of control.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it hard right now. Not to judge the character, but I'm calling it. I'm calling what's going to happen. Something's going to happen between him and his daughter, and he's going to either fix himself or something really bad happens.
Perhaps it shouldn't have come as a surprise. My father had been something of a drinker when I was young, though he did manage to reduce his intake by the time I left home, thanks to the numerous threats of divorce from my mother. The irony wasn't lost on me. My father partially conquered his alcoholism to keep a woman in his life, while losing 2 women in my own only drew me closer to the demon drink.
It's offense. It's offensive. I had to, sorry.
I never hit Emily. Not before the drink and not after. It just didn't affect me that way. Alcohol didn't make me violent, it made me negligent.
Okay. So your negligence caused her to probably go off and do something. Still calling it. Something has to had to have happened, like she might have ran away or something. And he's now chasing after her, or something. I saw a deer. Yesterday I saw a deer. Today I see you.
Which isn't to say that I wasn't known for my occasional bouts of verbal aggression. That much I can't deny, and I probably raised my voice to Emily more often than I should have. I certainly recall at least one occasion when I reduced her to tears, and there were probably other occasions that I simply can't remember. But I never hurt her physically. That much I'm certain of. That just wasn't who I was or who I am today. I might be a weak man, but I'm not a total coward.
No.
My work wasn't affected, at least not noticeably. As the months progressed, however, I found myself substituting the water in my plastic bottle for vodka. Only sometimes, on especially hard days, and only a partially full bottle. No one ever knew, of course, though my work performance was questioned on one or two occasions. That said, my job was never in threat, at least for the first year or so. Then came the day of a certain small incident, and, well... I wasn't violent towards the boy. Again, that just wasn't my style, sober or otherwise. But I definitely raised my voice at him and demanded that he leave my classroom and never darken my doorstep again. I might have even sworn at him. The official report certainly claims that I did.
He thinks it's stuck. How to make an X unstuck. Where do I go from here? When you're trying to figure out where to go, because the game doesn't give you. That's one thing I hated about the Gears of War series, was there wasn't a real sense of, well, maybe the second one had a sense of direction, but sometimes it felt like I wasn't sure where I was going.
What can I say? His disruptive behavior was difficult enough to tolerate, even when I was in a fitter state to endure such nonsense. But things were starting to deteriorate in my life generally, to the point where Emily's grandparents were starting to intervene a little, and I guess I took my frustrations out on him rather than her.
Yeah, but I hate to say it. It's no excuse. It really isn't. I love that swiping noise. It's like yoink. Like, in this, the only way I know I'm going the right way is when the narrator starts talking. So I have to rely on that.
There's no denying that boy deserved my wrath more than my daughter. I was put on suspension since I hardly had a history of these things. I'd been a good worker up to that point, I honestly had. Go sort yourself out, they said. I had every intention of doing just that.
Did you now?
Darling, you can't keep blaming yourself for what happened. Not to me, and no.
Oh.
The path to recovery is never an easy one, and I wasn't convinced that cold turkey was my answer. It just sounded too convenient to me and seemed a surefire way to fall straight back off the wagon. I suspected that slowly weaning myself off the drink would reap more permanent rewards, and immediately set about reducing my intake. A fortnight later, it was still a daily habit, but at least that habit had shifted mostly to nights.
Okay. Right. When we come back, guys, more of this game, and leave a like and subscribe, because there's always room for more. See you next video. Goodbye, everybody.